But
So it seems, in terms of the description of the three sisters, some are more helpful than others, or some.
yeah,
Can
that's
you
true.
describe a little of that?
With mommy,
Well, just of your dynamics, the four of you. I know
uh,
you're at the top here.
well, Teeny is at the top of helping
Oh, right. I meant
everybody.
age-wise, I guess. You're the oldest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and I helped with mommy as much as I could. I helped Deborah with her children, especially Nicole, and sometimes Allie when Debbie let me. Allie up until she was 8 or 9, and Nicole she practically grew up with Artu and Booby, and between me and her grandmother on her father's side, you know, um, she only actually lived with uh, Debbie in the beginning when her and her husband was together, and then uh, when then after he left, uh, Debbie didn't too much have anything to do with Nicole. That's the one that has the family now, and then she remarried, and she had this one, but it's a problem with I don't know, Debbie with this one.
How did you feel when Booby came into your life?
Oh, I think that was in God's plan too, because I always wanted more. You know,
But this was with a man who had left you.
right, and
How does that work?
oh, well, I don't know. What happened is, um, he he had left me, but I didn't know why. You know why he did. He didn't want to have nothing to do with our two at all, and which was his first one, and I remember he came up to visit one day, just came up to visit. And we were supposed to get married at one time, and he came up to visit, and this girl was downstairs, but I thought it was just a friend of his or something like that. So I said, "Well, why is she sitting down on the bench? Go back and get her and bring her upstairs." I didn't know at the time that was his girlfriend, and so and so she came upstairs, but I noticed she was kind of like, you know, like afraid to be up there or something. And I tried to make her comfortable and everything because he told me that was just a friend, a friend. I didn't think of a girlfriend or anything like that. And so then the next thing I knew, they were married, you know. And when I would try to talk to him or anything, he didn't want to talk, or anything, right? When I would call over there. And so one time, I didn't even know he had that the child was born, except Nicole was in the hospital for asthma or something. I don't know what it was now. And Debbie went to visit Nicole in the hospital. She was a little baby. And she saw him up there. And I hadn't seen him in maybe a year. And she told me that Solomon was up here in the hospital and he has another baby. But I said, what? I, I didn't know. A Booby was up there. It seems as though what I found out is that the mother when he go off to work, the mother was leaving the baby in the house by herself, going off to see somebody else. That's what I found out from some of the neighbors. And the neighbors said, when you go out like that, bring the baby up to me, and I won't charge you. you know. And I don't exactly remember how I went up to visit him one time. Went up to the house. I don't know how that came up. I don't remember how that came about. And Booby was there. I think she had left him, and her sister was helping take care of the baby. And so I went up to see. I remember I got climbed 5 flights of stairs, and me and our two went up to see him and the baby. And he just took to me and didn't want to leave me. Didn't want us to leave and everything. It could have been because our two was, he thought he had a playmate, and he didn't want us to leave. And he was just so sweet, And so I don't even remember how we got back together. And I told him I would take care of him, as best I could. And I have to try to get him on my health plan and all that kind of stuff. So then he came back to live, and that's how I got him.
And they all thought that I was just having cold feet and that it would work. And my mom had really good senses about her. And I believed my mom, if nobody else. Well, maybe it is me. But then after we got married, it was just everything that I thought it would be, which was not good. He's a good guy. He really is a good guy. And he has to have things, it's no give and take.
When you were married,
Mm-hmm.
were you caring for Doris then too?
Well, Doris could get around a whole lot and everything, but when she got pregnant, then I said you got to come and stay with me. So she came to stay with me.
And your husband?
Yeah, my husband.
And how long did that?
She was with me only the end of the pregnancy, so she was with me about 6 weeks at the end. And
How long were you married?
I think let's see. I think it was 4 years, but I'm not really sure. Some things I don't want to remember, I guess.
Did you think having Doris there impacted your relationship with
No, not
him?
at all. No, he was good with Doris, and he was accepting, and I'm still in touch with him. He's not that well right now, and I know he's hoping that I'll help him out, but I can't. He's still the same person. He needs to be, he needs a mother. That's what he needs. And I'm too old to be somebody's mother. I can't do that. But I can talk to him and I can give him advice. And if I had the time, he's in Delaware now. If I had the time, I'd go down. But I can't really. So I talk to him on the phone and so on, but I can't. He remarried, and he had a son, and the woman he married had a child from a previous relationship. He adopted that child, and then that didn't work out. And I'm at work one day, and he shows up at my workplace. I didn't even know he knew where I worked,
Yeah.
And they had broken up and this and that, and after about 8 months, the two of us were back together again. And I said, well, maybe I did miss something. Maybe because we really can, but then there's other things that we do. So.
Was there ever anyone else after him?
Oh yeah,
You had,
yeah.
So you had that part of your life, and because it seems like you take care of Doris like it's a full-time thing.
Yeah, I do, because
When did
maybe
that
I need
start?
it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that started. when I was a kid, I guess.